Wouldn't it be nice to be able to know exactly how much it is going to cost you and or your company to build an e-learning program, online course, or virtual training before you do it? We think so. Which is why we got this video for you today, calculating the cost of building an online course, e-learning program, or virtual training. This is the eLearning Simplified YouTube channel. I'm Johnny Havey, one of the co-founders of eLearning Partners, the company that created this channel for you. On this channel, we focus on helping you build, launch, sell, and distribute your online courses, e-learning programs, and virtual trainings to your learners as quickly as possible and successfully. Now, if you stayed to the end of this video, we have a free gift for you. And remember, if you like this video or any of our other content, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. So let's dive in, calculating the cost of building an online course. First of all, there are two types of costs to consider when developing an online course. There are, number one, the hard dollars, and number two, soft dollars. Hard dollars are pretty straightforward. This is the actual dinero that you are going to spend on creating your online course, e-learning program, or virtual training. Soft dollars, on the other hand, are actually way more valuable than hard dollars, but harder to define. So soft dollars are the time it's going to take you and your team to build the program. Because, well, first of all, time is the most important currency that we have as humans. And second, time directly correlates to dollars. So let's dive into hard dollars. When you're looking at the hard dollars, the actual monetary cost of building an e-learning program, you really need to consider three things. Three things are going to cost you money. The first thing is content. The second thing is the technology that you're going to use, or the tech. And the third thing is your distribution. Content, technology, distribution. These are the three pillars of e-learning. We talk about this a lot on this channel. We talk about this even more in our MasterClass and our course. But this is what costs the money. Developing content, tech, distribution. So when you are budgeting for creating an e-learning program, online course, or virtual training, you need to look at how much is it going to cost to develop the content, how much is it going to cost to integrate the proper e-learning technology, and most important, how much is it going to cost to distribute your program. When we look at the three pillars, now you're probably asking, well, these three pillars seem very important. I need content, I need technology, and I need to distribute it. How can I save money in these three pillars in my hard dollar investment? Well, the end goal is to provide value to your learners as quickly as possible. So this actually means that you don't need fancy content, so you can save some money just by not creating really fancy content. Your content needs to focus on the learner. So when you create content that focuses on the learner, it doesn't matter if you're purchasing some really fancy authoring tool or if you're hiring out a movie studio to produce high budget video content. It matters the messaging and the challenges that you're actually solving for the learner. So you can save money on producing content. The other place you can save money is on the tech. You also don't need to spend a lot of money on a high cost e-learning technology or e-learning platform. Why? Well, because you can actually use technology that you already have access to and your learners already have access to. If you want to learn more about that, check out our MasterClass in the link below. We talk about it. But technology really doesn't need to be overthought. You just need something that your learners are already used to using, like a user experience they're already used to using. And you don't need to sign a multi-month, multi-year agreement with any e-learning platform to get a lot of value out of a technology. So you can save a lot of money on tech. The one pillar that people underspend on, but you should actually spend the most on, is distribution. So, sorry, there's no way around it. You are not going to cut your distribution costs. Distribution is the highest cost pillar of e-learning. At least it should be. If you're spending more money on content and tech than you are on distribution, it's not good, because think about it. If you do what most individuals and companies do when they create e-learning, is allocate 40% of the budget to content, 40% of the budget to tech, and then 20% of the budget to distribution, you are literally saying this 80% here that becomes sunk costs. So we'll define a couple other things here. So sunk costs means you've already spent it, you can't get that money back. So it's already been spent and can't get back. Now you're saying, I spent 80% of my budget on content and tech, and I'm expecting this last pillar, the 20% I'm spending on distribution, to get this money back? So you're literally saying, I'm going to rely on 1/4 of what I've already spent, right? 20 divided by 80 is 1/4, is supposed to help you get that money back. This 1-to-4 ratio just doesn't make any sense. You are putting way too much pressure on your distribution with not enough budget to bring you back to even. What you should do is spend somewhere closer to 50% or more on distribution. And then you're looking at about 25% here and 25% here. So now when you add this up, you get 50%, and now we have a 1-to-1 ratio. Makes a lot more sense. Distribution is the most important part of this, because you can have the most amazing content, most amazing technology, but if your learners never use it, engage with it, then you have a failed e-learning program. So then you're probably like, well, why do we even focus on content and tech? Well, because there's 3 pillars for a reason. If you don't have content and tech, then you have nothing to distribute. That's why they are the 3 pillars of e-learning. So that's the hard dollars view of this. The soft dollars view is even crazier. And all of this applies. When you're looking at soft dollars, the soft dollars, like we said, are time, and time directly impacts money. So look at all of these. So let's say that you spend 40% of your time, like what we had here written already. 40% of your time creating content, 40% of your time on the tech, and only 20% of your time on distribution. You're literally saying, hey, here's this fancy thing. We actually don't care about distributing it though. And those 40%, now you're not just spending all this time as sunk costs and money as sunk costs, right? Because like we said, time directly influences how much money you're spending. You're just throwing this, you're literally throwing it down the drain, and you're hoping that you're going to be able to distribute it. Soft dollars are way more important to consider when you're looking at calculating the cost of an e-learning program, online course, or virtual training development project. Because people forget how time impacts money. Not to mention, time is the most important currency we all have. So to recap, here's what we learned in this video. We learned that the 2 items you need to consider when calculating the cost of your online course development are hard dollars and soft dollars. Hard dollars meaning the actual monetary investment that it costs you to develop your program. Soft dollars being the time investment, which indirectly means a higher monetary investment to develop your program. We went through the 3 pillars of e-learning and where you can save some money by decreasing the amount of investment you put into two of them, and where you can't, just look at it as a, I guess we got to write this line item in. This is the most important line item when you are calculating the cost of developing your e-learning program. When you're building your budget and calculating how much you are going to spend from a hard dollar and soft dollar perspective on your e-learning program, make sure to attribute 50% plus to the distribution pillar. Super important. Now, if you want to learn more about that and how to save money, time, and alleviate stress in successfully launching an e-learning program, virtual training, or online course, we have a free masterclass you will get instant access to when you sign up in the description of this video below. Check that out. Also, remember, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you can get weekly updates on learner-centric e-learning knowledge from learners for learners. We'll see you in the next video. This question, I don't even like it, I'll be honest with you. What does an e-learning consultant do? I don't like it because I think there's a ton of people out there that aren't doing what an e-learning consultant should do. What an e-learning consultant should do is what the question should be. What does an e-learning consultant do? What should an e-learning consultant do? Let's get rid of the does.